everyone. Welcome to the Melancholy Coaching Podcast. I'm Fran, your host and NLP Coach. Join me as I interview inspiring business owners and self-improvement seekers about their experiences whilst delving into personal development, motivation and strategies for overcoming challenges. Let's ignite our creative potential together. Hello and welcome to the Melancholy Coaching Podcast. I'm Fran, your NLP coach, and I'm intrigued to introduce a seasoned beauty therapist with over 30 years in the industry. She's a passionate industry teacher and assessor who understands the importance of ongoing training and knowledge for students after they graduate. Her love for the industry inspired her to create The Informed Therapist. Lesley, welcome to the show.
Hi, Fran. Thanks for the invite. Great to be here. Really excited about doing my first podcast.
You're very, very welcome. So for complete transparency for anybody listening, Lesley and I actually met online, and we met in a VIP group which is run by a business coach called Kaylee Greenacre. Her business is actually I Can. So for complete transparency there. So we don't actually know each other in person yet, do we?
No,
we know each other.
Yeah,
we know each other. Yeah, I like the word yet.
Yeah.
So we know each other from online. So the way this is going to go is I'm going to ask you a couple of questions that I've pre-prepared, and we'll just have a little chat around it just to find out a little bit more about you and what you do, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, of course. No worries.
Because I'm a curious little being, so I like to ask questions.
The nature of women, I think, Fran.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'd like to think that it's the nature of mankind, and one of my visions can be to bring curiosity to the world.
Yeah.
So, all right, question one. What sounds like a game show, doesn't it?
What do I win?
You win time with me. There you go. So, what gap did you identify in the beauty therapy that inspired you to create the Informed Therapist?
So the gap has been getting bigger and bigger over the years. So when I went to college back in the day, in the 90s, I had to give up work and go to college for 2 years. Now you go to college once a week for 6 months.
Right. So just for clarification on this, you went to college and it was beauty therapy, or was it called something else?
Beauty therapy, yes.
Beauty therapy, and it was a 2-year course.
2-year course, Monday to Friday. I gave up work for Estee Lauder at weekends in London to keep my money coming. I lived at home then, so obviously it was a lot easier because I didn't have bills to pay. I was 25, so I was what they call a mature student. I gave up work for 2 years. Mum and Dad supported me, went with Estee Lauder during that time at weekend work. But the actual exams and everything were very, very tough. Very tough.
Okay. So by that, so if now it's remind me of what you said, is it a 6-week course now?
It's 6 months, once a week.
6 months, sorry, yeah, once a week. Is that with the same qualification, or have they changed the qualification process?
Yeah, they've changed the qualification process, because when I was at college, it was City and Guilds, Tedesco. And now it's generally VTCT, which in theory is the same, but ask of therapists like me, we would beg to differ.
So do you, going to test your belief on this actually. Do you not believe then that it's the same but it's a fast track?
Yeah.
So it's not the same. It doesn't give you the same in-depth knowledge.
Yeah. But that's not the college's fault or the tutor's fault, because I was at a college today, as we discussed earlier, and I'm trying to get the Informed Therapist as my business into colleges, academies.
Yeah.
And the reason that I'm trying to do that, and the teachers agree with me, who I had the conversation with, once they've qualified after 6 months and they've got that bit of paper, they're sort of walking out the door and that's it, they've gone. But fundamentally, they don't really have enough knowledge enough experience if they've not done any training in a salon in between time. Confidence, skills, any of that.
Okay.
Go for
So
them.
that's
Yeah,
so that's what they can gain by your business,
yeah,
which is the informed therapist. That's what they're going to gain from that.
yes. So when I go back to this particular college in December, I'm going to go to have a chat with the students that are due to qualify in February.
Yeah.
Because if I go in December, it doesn't interfere with their exams, because obviously their time is quite taken up a lot by revising and tests and stuff. Whereas if I go in December, it means I can have a chat with them, talk about their CVs, talk about their interview skills, how they need to conduct themselves, and just try and find out where they intend on going once qualified.
Okay.
Because a lot of them don't have a clue what to do. There's no guidance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the certificate itself, or what they get in the training at the college, which we have established is through no thought of the tutors
Yeah.
or the colleges or anybody like doing the courses as well.
Yeah.
It's just that you've identified that there's gaps there. Um,
Yeah.
so by them doing that, do they all say if it was different areas? So we're based in the UK. For
Yeah.
anybody listening, we're based in the UK. So different areas or different council districts, different kind of colleges. Is it the same standard training that is offered within beauty therapy?
Generally, if they're doing a VTCT course across the country, obviously
Yeah.
Scotland could be different because it's different exams up there, but generally they're all across the board the same. If
Right. Okay.
they go and do any fast tracks, 1 day courses, again, it's a bit of paper. It qualifies you for what you're doing, as in treatment, but it doesn't qualify you for much else.
Okay. So by your business going in, speaking to students, speaking to colleges,
Yeah.
can you just clarify just a little bit deeper
Yeah.
what it is that you offer that they don't yet have?
So they don't have, see, in my informed therapist, I've written quite a lot of modules.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So it's like it's a course.
It's course, yeah. So you go
Yeah.
through the course, yeah. So
Okay.
there's bits you're going to have done already, but I'm just going over it, reinforcing it. There's bits you may not have even touched on, like I've purchased my own salon before, twice actually. And one of my modules is going through how to buy a business.
Okay.
One of the modules is the licensing you need, because a lot of people don't know about licensing, which varies depending what council you belong to. I'm in Kent and my council is Bromley, but you could be in Islington or you could be in, well, Wales or anywhere. So your councils are all reflective wherever you are, and they all differ. Until you've got an understanding of that, you wouldn't think about it. It's the little,
So the informed therapist and the course that you offer, is
yeah.
that then a self-study, like
And
a kind of an evergreen model, or is it interactive?
no, it's interactive. So it's 12-week. So
Yeah.
I'm doing mentoring with you for 12 weeks.
Oh, amazing.
Yeah, so we catch up once a week. I've got a few people that are going to come on a Zoom and give you advice, because obviously I don't know everything. I'm still learning lots with regards to social media and how to do accounts, and where I've picked people through my career who are coming in to help me.
Oh, so you have like experts as such, like guest experts to
Yeah,
come
because I
in.
don't know everything. Yeah, I mean, I only a lot. We were just saying earlier about how much social media wasn't around when I was at school. So a lot of it I've picked up from people that I've just generally met through Kaylee,
Yeah.
and yeah, and other memberships, that I've belonged to through the time. Um, and it's having the guidance and people you can trust as well, isn't it?
Yeah, very much so. Yeah,
And
very much so.
yeah, and I think you get to know people that you get a feel with, that you can trust, that you want to bring into your business. And there's a lot of people out there that just want to take your money and not do a lot. So, you've got to be quite mindful, haven't you, Fran?
Yeah, very mindful, and it's very easy when you are not sure where to start or how to start. It's very easy to, because you're in a vulnerable position.
Oh, I've
Um,
also got just cutting in, sorry. I've also got a
that's
couple
okay.
of women that are waiting to come on my course already, because it doesn't launch to the 21st of October. who are mums and they're qualified, but they've had family gap, bringing up family. So they haven't actually done beauty therapy for 10, 15 years.
Right. Okay.
So
So the
yeah, so to come,
sounds like me in an office work.
was it?
Um,
Yeah, yeah. So to come to me is great because they stay with me for 12 weeks. I sort of go over the industry and how it's changed. If
mm,
they're not qualified in certain aspects, I can point them in the direction where they would need to go and get qualified, or come to me because I am a teacher as well. They can come and do a one-to-one in my clinic if they want to. Um, so it just gets them back into industry as well.
right. So this leads nicely onto my next question, next main question that I've got for you, which is how can listeners who are entering the field of beauty therapy or who are starting later in life, how can they prepare themselves today?
So the biggest thing is research, research, research. I cannot accentuate how much you need to sit down and research what you're doing, where you're going. Because when you go onto a lot of the Facebook forums, which I belong to a lot of them, the amount of people that have lost thousands of pounds of money because
That's really upsetting.
they've gone to these academies which are fast tracked and we can do it for you in 6 months if you pay us 5 or 10,000. They've paid it all up front, then they've gone overnight. The academies don't see them again. So it's really important that you do your research before you actually part with any money or do any courses.
So is beauty therapy, is it an unregulated industry?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's becoming much more regulated now. But what happens is because of all the fast track, I don't know if you remember a few months back, there was that poor woman that died from having a bum lift,
Did you
BBL.
go abroad
No, she was in the UK,
in the UK? Oh, wow. Yeah, okay.
Manchester way somewhere.
But was the surgery done here?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now,
By
I did know about that, and I obviously didn't read the article properly because I assumed that it wasn't in this country that she had her surgery.
yeah, yeah. So she went, and I think it was maybe the second time she'd had it done, only from what I'm
Mm.
reading in the newspapers, obviously. Um, and I think she had about 4 children as well. So she was a
Oh,
mum.
it's very awful.
It was just horrific. And since that, they've really started getting their act together with the licensing.
Mm.
Because what's happening is, I mean, I'm a traditional therapist. I don't do toxins and things like that. That's just obviously my choice. But people are coming into the industry doing fast track courses. They could have come from selling car insurance,
Right, okay.
come into the industry, do a 5 day, 4 day, 3 day fast track course, and by the end of that week, they're injecting people's faces and bodies.
Yeah. Now, see, I'm all one for learning, and whether that be like a little CPD course or learning off YouTube or something like that. I'm all one for that. However, you've got to do your due diligence, haven't you, in what you're actually offering people and the services that you're providing
Yeah,
to make sure that you're doing a complete service for them. It sounds in a way similar to the coaching industry is an unregulated industry as well,
yeah.
and so is counselling.
Oh,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, so unless you, to my current knowledge anyway, so unless you actually work for an establishment that's more of a corporate establishment like the National Health Service or something like that, you don't necessarily need psychotherapy or psychology or anything like that. You can get a counselling certificate. And coaching is a completely unregulated industry.
yeah. It's not till you actually start talking to people you realize how much
Yeah,
and what people charge as well.
yeah, it's astronomical.
Yeah,
So, for example, as I'm a coach, so I trained with actual trainers. I've got my certificates. I do business strategy as well. I trained with that and got my certifications in it. So I'm a certified master coach and I'm a certified business strategist. I didn't go to college, so this
no,
stuff's kind of, it was online. It was one-to-one, but it was
yeah,
online learning. I've then backed that up with the fact that I'm insured, so I'm insured as a coach.
yeah,
I've got contracts and everything. So I've sorted out all my legalities as well. But it sounds similar in a way to how you're saying about the beauty therapy industry.
Yeah.
Would people just qualifying know how to get insurance, know where to go for their legal
Yeah.
provisions,
Mm.
um, their disclaimers,
Yeah.
anything like that? They wouldn't
Yeah.
necessarily know, would they?
Wouldn't necessarily know, no. And you don't mean to put a dampener on it, but it's and don't get me wrong, it's an amazing industry to be in. And obviously, at the age I am, after doing it for 30 whatever years, I would never do anything else. But the industry is very different to when I qualified. And I want to try and teach the people, the youngsters, yes, and even some of the more mature students, that it's not all about just shoving a needle in someone's face or body. It's more,
Unless that's what you maybe specialize in, and that's
yeah,
what your target market wants. So there's no judgment for any of this as such, is there? The services that people provide, but that isn't what beauty therapy is.
beauty therapy is not, the underpinning knowledge of beauty therapy is not that end of it. It's
Right.
the,
Okay. This just out of curiosity now,
yeah,
I do not come from a beauty therapy background.
yeah,
Um, I kind of know a little bit about it. I've seen salons and things like that. Now, I'm a woman who will literally get up, wash my face with soap and water. I might bung on a bit of moisturizer, and that's about it, really. Um, and I've done horrific things like shaved my eyebrows so they grow back in peculiar places, and all sorts of horrible
yeah.
things I've done to myself.
You're not the only one,
But
Fran.
I
People,
don't know. I don't know a lot about beauty therapy.
yeah,
So for potentially people just coming into the industry, they might just base it on, I don't know, maybe injectables or fillers, or
yeah.
they wouldn't necessarily know, would they?
No, no, we would class that mainly as aesthetics, that end of it.
Okay. So can you just put in a little bit of clarification in there then,
Yeah, so
about what comes under the heading of beauty
what?
therapy?
So people don't, if people want to wind me up, they'll call me a beautician
Okay.
because
Why would that wind you up?
I'm not a beautician, I'm a beauty therapist. So when
Okay.
I used to work for Estee Lauder, I've worked for Clinique, I've worked for Yves Saint Laurent. When I was younger, behind the counter in the stores, I was a beautician.
Okay.
I stood behind the counter, obviously got trained on how to apply makeup, sold it, obviously, loved it at the time, but wanted to do more, which is why at 25, I went to go and do my exams. So at 25, I went to become a beauty therapist and did obviously my 2 years of training to get my City and Guilds qualifications, all my Sedescos, all them. Then I'm actually a beauty therapist.
Okay.
So with aesthetics, a lot of aesthetics people are not beauty therapists. They've gone into the industry purely to do injectables.
Right. Okay. So it's like that can be a specialization in its
Yeah.
own right.
Yes. Yes.
Okay. So potentially there's a lot of misconceptions around what beauty therapy actually is.
Yeah. You could have, I mean, most aesthetics people now generally come from a nursing background because they're used to
That makes sense.
yeah, it does because they know the skin, the anatomy, they're used to injecting. So a majority of the ones which are doing very well, are very qualified, come from that type of background. So of course they haven't done the beauty therapy path, they've done nursing, etc., and then got into it
Yeah.
nursing. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's okay as well. Like,
God, yeah, I
you know,
mean, they're the people that are highly qualified, but obviously at the other end of the scale, you've also got beauty therapists like me that have been doing it for years and years and years that have gone on to do aesthetics after
yeah.
years and years of experience. And equally, they have become great at doing aesthetics as well. Because again, they've got the underpinning knowledge and the training, but that's the avenue they've chosen to go down. The whole I've found is rewinding the industry back to the very beginning.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that
Now I get it. So
yeah,
so you've identified gaps there,
yeah,
and then decided that the solution
yeah,
is actually back at the beginning.
is the beginning. There isn't anything at the beginning anymore. They're going from this to this without learning the bits in between.
Okay.
Yeah. And they don't, when they go to college, obviously 1 day a week for 6 months, they nowhere near went through the anatomy and physiology that I had to learn of the body.
Mm.
There's a huge gap there. And unless you've got an understanding of the functions of the body, how it works, how are you going to know what the end result's going to be? Or you're taught to do a treatment and you just do it like a robot, but you really don't really understand why you're doing it like that. You just know the end result's going to be you've got firmer skin, but you don't know why you've got firmer skin.
Okay, so it's a deeper understanding as well of the procedures that can be used.
Yes.
And I've used the word procedures. So are they called procedures?
Yeah, they are. Yeah, no, we do. I mean, everyone's got different ways of doing things, but procedures, yeah, because in the Informed Therapist, I've also written my own facial actually as well. Because through the years, you're taught at college a basic facial, but a basic facial is nowhere near as good as a facial that someone's been doing for 10 or 20 years. Because you do so much training and you develop so much, you learn different techniques. So it's things like that. I like to teach people different ways of doing things. Not that the way they do them is incorrect, because it's not. It's just sometimes you need to build your own personality into your treatments, because my clients come for me as much as they come for my treatment.
So you're about encouraging new therapists or therapists, beauty therapists coming back into the industry to almost layer up their knowledge and
Yeah,
deepen their understanding
yeah,
about procedures that they can offer.
yeah. And don't worry about looking at everybody else all the time. Let everybody else do what they want to do. You are an individual.
Stay in your lane.
Stay in your lane, Fran. You're like I share with my room. I share it with another therapist who's lovely. She's not been in it quite as long as me, and she was a bit, oh my God, Lesley, what if we overlap clients? I went, we won't, because my clients come for me, like your clients come for you. They come for not only your treatments but your personality, because they trust you. They know you know what you're doing. So it's the whole thing that they come to you for. And not a lot of therapists really understand that. It's not just about doing a leg wax. It's about the talking in between that leg wax, getting to know them as a client. Because some
It's an important
yeah,
thing. It's an important learning,
yeah,
isn't it? That
yeah,
it may appear like it's a flooded industry as such, that there are many thousands of beauty therapists. However, the
there's that.
training can vary, as you've identified, because you've already identified gaps there,
Yeah,
but the actual specialization or the offerings,
yeah,
or the kind of the bespoke nature of somebody's business is really, really variable.
very. I mean, people always go, oh, there's so many people doing that, and da, da, da. Yeah, there may be, but what makes you unique about you?
So that's your USP, your unique selling point, or your unique superpower.
Yeah, and it is you, it's your personality, and it's the whole you. I mean, don't get me wrong, there's going to be some clients you're not going to gel with. I've had clients I've not gelled with. That's fine. You can't gel with everybody because you are what you are, aren't you?
Yeah. But if they're coming for a certain procedure, you can provide that procedure and they just
Yeah,
want the job done, and
and they
then
go.
that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You even get, I mean, I've got clients I've known for so long now, they're actually become friends. So you go out socially with them. But you find that in beauty, you often find you meet your friends through your work, which is quite
Now
nice.
there must be a certain amount of confidentiality though involved in
Yes.
beauty therapy. Do you
Yeah.
think that that's currently being highlighted within any courses that people are doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think generally people are they do adhere to that really well.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
good.
I don't, from my own experience, ever hear about discussions outside the room. I mean, as a therapist, you become a therapist and a beauty therapist because obviously, people can tell you quite confidential things.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
Yeah, and there could be confidential things about their bodies and things like that as well.
and women when they're older, we're not as confident as when we were younger. So,
Um,
sometimes.
Potentially, I suppose in the context of our bodies or faces, that's very true. Yeah.
And the plus point of being an older therapist,
Mhm.
because I'm older. I've not only been doing it a long time, but I've had my daughter. The usual things start to sag where they shouldn't have, where they didn't sag maps 20 years ago. But we're all human, aren't we?
Yeah, absolutely.
And women often feel more at ease with someone that's older. And this is where it's hard for the youngsters to come in.
Yeah. Okay. And then to actually understand themselves and their own identity within their business, um, and to attract their own clients as well. So that whole client attraction,
Yes.
when they're younger people.
Yeah.
Um, oh, I love this. So it's fascinating.
It's interesting. And I found the main thing with a lot of younger people now is they're not as organized as when I was their age. And I can say that because I've got a daughter of 22. Um, and yeah, you can see they're very different
Yeah,
to when we were younger.
yeah. Well, they've been raised in a different era of technology and things like that.
Definitely. There's always good
Yeah.
and bad of
Yeah,
every
absolutely. I was thinking earlier actually when you said about, when you started, social media wasn't really around. I had my own version of social media from back kind of more in 1980 because I was on CB radio. Um, so I'm actually an old ham
Oh,
from
yes.
CB radio. So yeah, so that's what
Yeah.
I kind of grew up with. And I was on there for a numerous amount of years.
Yeah.
So I was one of the first kind of to skip across to, social media and stuff like that.
Wow.
'Cause there are thousands of social media platforms out there, by the way, thousands, whole minefield. Going back to beauty therapy,
Yeah.
can you just, for the purpose of any listeners, can you just clarify, do you work only with women, predominantly with women, and is the course that you're offering with the informed therapist, is that for ladies?
No, no. I mean, obviously, when I was at college, we didn't have any guys at college for obvious reasons. I mean, when you're doing intimate waxing and things like that, you're hardly going
Mm,
to have a male therapist. But going forward that a few years now, or 20 odd years, you're going to have male masseuses, aren't you? You're going to have
yeah.
males that go and wax men. So it's very different now.
Well, I was just thinking that a lot of to be binary about it, a lot of men may be thinking differently about their appearance, but with things
Yeah,
changing and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah.
Because I mean, even footballers wax their legs, don't they?
Oh God, yeah. People that
So
run athletics and
runners and
yeah,
athletes. So it's not just
yeah,
necessarily about beauty, but it comes under beauty therapy.
yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously, where I sort of work at the moment, I have to be a little bit careful because I'm a little bit hidden where I am. So if I do male clients, it's generally husbands of the wives that I do, or it's boyfriends
Yeah,
and things like that. But I think if you're in like a bigger salon environment, from a safety aspect, which obviously you have to think about, um, we where I've worked in previous salons before, we used to do a lot of men's waxing, massaging.
yeah.
Yeah, because there's obviously a lot more people around you for
But
security.
then some of that is also going to speak to the client base that you aim your actual business at. So for
Yeah,
anybody coming back into the industry or anybody starting, you might focus on athletes. You might
yeah,
focus on actors. So depending on whereabouts you are in the country, maybe you're near theatres and things like
yeah,
that. And
yeah.
so you could have a kind of a niche within it, couldn't you?
Could. You could. I mean, obviously in London, they have a lot of wax bars, don't they? Male waxing bars. You can just literally walk in without appointments and just get your intimate waxing done. Yeah. So
Amazing.
it's very good.
Right. So before we go on too much about that, which is a whole nother conversation,
Here's
which is
another
fine.
day.
It's a
Yeah.
whole nother conversation. Can I just ask you what's next for you? Like what's coming up next?
What's coming up? So my launch is on the 21st of October. So
Okay, so depending on when anybody's listening to this podcast,
yeah,
um, this podcast goes out October 2025. So depending on when you're listening to it.
yeah.
So yeah, so you're going live.
Going live on the 21st of October 25.
Okay.
And my landing page. So that's where you can join my masterclass. Got finished last night, funnily enough. So that's going to be
Well
going.
done.
Thank you. That's a lot, yeah. So that's going to be going out today when I finished. with you, Fran. That's my project for tonight. So my 3-day masterclass is the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. And it's at 8 o'clock for them 3 nights.
Yeah.
And we're going to go through what the course is about, what I'm going to offer you. You get a bit of homework on the first night and the second night. And on the third night, we just come together and establish what you've learned from the first night to the third night.
Okay. A couple of questions in my mind again.
And then,
Curious being here. So, firstly,
yeah, go on then.
going forward, because obviously this is time-based now that we're
Yes.
talking about things that are coming up for you, would you then look to run that maybe annually, a few times a year, so that anybody that misses that or that listens to this later, they can
So,
find you and find out when you'll be running more
yeah,
masterclasses?
because I'm on my own as well. And obviously, the mentoring that I'm doing, I don't want to take on a lot of people at once because I have to be, because I still run my clinic, obviously, I'm still doing my treatments. So I have to be sure that I'm able to give 110% to the people that sign up with me.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so I'll probably end up taking on about 3 to 4 people for the first 12 weeks. And once the 12 weeks is up, I'll then introduce them onto my membership if they want to keep coming with me on a membership. Where they pay monthly, but they'll still get information from me on a monthly basis. We'll still do Q&As every week to catch up and things like that. But primarily, the informed therapist will be for the 12 weeks, and then after that 12 weeks, I'll probably do another masterclass again. Yeah,
So I just want to check something else
yeah,
as well. So for doing your course and
yeah,
then to lead on to your membership,
yeah.
what is the entry level for people? Would it be that they've already done a beauty therapy qualification?
Yes, so they've generally got their VTCT qualification in level 2. Some may have level 3. If whichever one they've got, they can come into the informed therapist.
Mm.
However, if they've got a certain subject or treatment that they haven't learned and they wanted to learn, and I offer it, they're more than welcome to come to my clinic physically and do a one-to-one training in the clinic with me. But obviously, if they've got everything they need and they're quite happy with that, they just want help with reinforcing their skills, their knowledge, confidence, going over maybe CVs and interviews and all that type of thing. That's where the informed therapist will come in. And lots more. There's about 10 modules that I've written so far.
Amazing.
So I'll keep going to add that. I'm just going to add that. Like at the moment, a real big thing, I've collaborated with a company in Newcastle upon Tyne. A big thing at the minute is gut health.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people can come to you with acne, problematic skin, but you've got to take it back to the basics. You can do a treatment on them, but having an understanding of it, generally it's your gut that's imbalanced. And the gut,
That's like a additional
yeah,
training, isn't it?
yeah. And with the companies in Zeno that I'm going to be working with, we do blood tests. So we do a little blood prick on your finger, and then we send it off to Switzerland, I think it is, and it takes about a week turnaround, and they can determine from that the imbalance of your hormones, your gut, what you're lacking in, what you need to balance out the gut, because that's connected straight to your brain, don't forget. It helps to balance out the body functions of your hormones, enzymes, that type of thing. So it's all very interesting.
I
Yeah.
love that. Thank you.
Yeah. And it's a healthy way of looking at it as well. It's just,
Yeah, of course it is. It's kind of what you're offering. I feel it's kind of like a very holistic approach to
yeah,
beauty therapy.
as well. Yeah. Yeah.
Mm.
So, but I've not done all the training yet on the gut health. I'm doing that at the moment. So, but that's really interesting. And it's a real big thing that's going to become big in the industry. But not a lot of them do the blood testing.
Right, amazing. So that's yet another thing that's coming up next for you then.
Yeah.
It's
No,
like the whole thing about the gut health and
definitely.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And all the amino acids and the vitamins that we're not getting because, a lot of our foods, they just are not as organic as they used to be, are they? Or we're living on fast food.
There's a lot of processed foods. Yeah. and there's a lot of additives. I mean, additives have been around for a long time, haven't they? But I feel that the fast food market and the processed food market has definitely increased.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, because the way life is just so busy, isn't it?
It is, and this is going to be a whole nother conversation. But there's a thing about within supermarkets that companies pay for the shelf space. So a lot of the companies that or the food-based companies that are offering something that's maybe a bit more organic or a bit more like they're smaller companies, they can't afford
Mm.
um, that shelf space. So we go into supermarkets and things like that, thinking that we're having an informed choice and that
Yeah,
we're making choices. We're actually making controlled choices because it's what's presented in front of us.
don't look up,
Um,
don't look down, do you?
yeah, and then obviously there's a lot of companies that literally cannot feature in main chains and things like that at all because they can't afford the shelf space.
Yeah,
So it's
yeah.
about those the other information about what you can do to help support your gut and support your body because that then, as you
Mm.
say, feeds your brain and
Yeah, yeah.
shows on your skin, doesn't it?
And they're saying some of the training I've done, they were saying a lot of this ADHD, etc., that the children and the younger generation are having is because of the lack of the vitamins, amino acids, etc., from when they're younger for the brain to develop.
Right now, interestingly enough, um, I've actually interviewed a gentleman with ADHD. So that's kind of one of my podcast episodes.
Yeah,
And we did have a very brief discussion about when did kind of because he was more recently aware of ADHD.
yeah,
But in the early 90s, I was actually a childminder for a little while, and I looked after a little child that was diagnosed as very, very young. He was preschool, diagnosed with ADHD, and a lot of the studies at that time supported the fact that it could be to do with E numbers in drinks. Um, so it
thanks.
was yeah, it was to do with the E numbers and things like that in drinks, and there was some sort of studies done on it. Um,
Yeah,
and initially, it wasn't really a recognised condition.
yeah,
Um,
no,
it was more prevalent in America, and then I started to hear about it in the early 90s. So that's a whole nother can of worms, isn't it?
yes,
Because this comes down to what people believe or what they're resistant to, and
yeah,
so we're just saying what current information is,
yeah,
and it's for people to make their own informed
sure,
decisions and
yeah,
their own due diligence over things.
mm,
Um, we're not necessarily claiming that
no,
ADHD doesn't exist or that it's only food based.
yeah,
There needs to be a lot more research, doesn't there?
there does a lot more research, definitely. But yeah,
Mm.
I mean, you never, that's why you never stop learning, do you, Fran? Whatever you're in,
No,
never stop learning.
no. Well, see, that was a revelation that I went through in my life because I didn't actually realize that I had a fixed mindset because I didn't realize there were different types of mindset. So this was like more of a revelation of mine later in life. It's the fact that you can have a growth mindset and you can continue learning, growing for as long as you want to.
Yeah, and obviously what your beliefs are, what they are, but that's the great thing about having free speech, isn't it, really?
Well, beliefs can change,
Yeah. And as you get older and
but they can quite often we center our beliefs around our values, and our values are formed. They can be formed at various times in our lives, and they can be environmentally affected and stuff like that as well.
yeah, and
Um,
experiences of life, isn't it, as well? Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. Because do not quote me on this being true,
Okay.
but apparently that we're born with, if we're a hearing person, we're born with a couple of things, and one of them is fear of loud noises and the fear of falling. So everything else is either done to us or by us.
Mm,
So therefore, your beliefs and things like that, they form. We're not born with that.
no, they develop as you go through the experiences of,
Yeah. And it leads itself into emotional intelligence and emotional awareness and things like that as well. Um,
yeah,
fascinating. See, I like brains. So
yeah. The
brains are
body as a whole,
fascinating.
though, Fran, is where the body's just amazing.
Yeah, what incredible beings
I
we
know
are.
we are, and what we take for granted as well, and how we abuse our bodies and what we do to them, and yet they still carry on.
They do still carry on. And a growth mindset and something, if you've gained, you dig into your emotional awareness and stuff like that, would be taking responsibility for
Yeah.
those things that we do to ourselves,
Mm.
but without judgment as well,
Yeah.
because these things happen at various times in our lives, and it has to be without judgment.
Yeah, definitely. You have a coping mechanism, which people deal with differently, don't they? So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. We've all got our different ways of dealing with things, so
yeah.
this comes with no judgment as well. Um, Absolutely fascinating. So
Digressing
thank you.
again, Fran. Sorry
I
about
know
that.
there's a lot of other conversations to be had in there, but today we're highlighting the informed therapist, and just I'm getting some information about beauty therapy because it's not a background that I come from at all. It's not anything that I know much about.
Hmm.
Um, and as I say,
Hopefully
anybody that comes near me would be horrified by my eyebrows. So,
I don't look
but
too
then
bad
that,
here, Fran. So
but then that's because what would that come under? That's more beautician work, is it, rather than beauty therapy?
therapy would be, yeah, if anything had been waxed, yeah. Maybe we'd
Yeah.
call that's probably one of your beginner things you learn at the very, very beginning.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if there's anybody else out there listening that's similar to me, got annoyed by your eyebrows and shaved them off, um,
You're not on your
you
own.
know, you're not on your own.
No.
You're not on your own, and there are things that you can do about it,
Yeah,
um,
yeah,
other than badly draw them on, which is what I do if I ever go near any makeup, which is generally why I don't wear it. So, so thank you, Lesley, for sharing your experience,
yeah,
and your passion.
yes.
This is a passion for elevating the beauty therapy industry, isn't it?
Oh my God, I was saying to the tutor today, actually, I think hair and beauty, you don't go in to for the money, not in the beginning. It's a real passion that you have, which then develops into something else. But in the very, very beginning, it's a very hard job, long hours, mentally draining, on your feet all day, dealing with people,
Mhm.
not a lot of money, weekends work every weekend, late nights.
So it's a passion.
Oh my God, without a doubt, without a doubt. Yeah. It's something you really, really want to do. But it's also a great industry for when you have a family. Because when I was a single mum for 2 years, and when my daughter Terry was growing up, I sold my salon and I worked from home. I went
Yeah.
to every sports day, I went to every play, I took her on every trip. It's very hard to, as a mum, to be able to say you've worked full time and done that.
So you're able to build a flexible business
Yeah,
around
yeah,
your life needs.
yeah,
Um, yeah, and now you're looking to elevate the industry. Love it. I
yeah.
know that I'm going to make a big claim here. So I know that your insights will inspire ongoing learning for anybody listening that's interested in this, um, and a thriving career for the next generation of beauty
That,
therapists as well.
that's what I intend. Not everything is always about money, Fan. It's about passing on your knowledge and your expertise to the next generation coming through. And I have a real passion for that. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. So for anyone listening, which I know you all will be curious to find out about Lesley and what she gets up to, you
Mm.
can find her on Instagram. So on Instagram, it's the Informed Therapist UK, and on Facebook, it's the Informed Therapist.
Yeah.
And that's ways that people can actually
Okay.
make contact with you and look at what you're doing. Um,
Yes.
And as we've already said, you've got masterclasses coming up, you've got membership and things like that. So there are other ways of accessing.
Oh, there are. My
Um,
website should be up and running in the next couple of weeks. So,
okay. Well, what I'd like you to do, because obviously this is of a time as well. So if
yeah,
this goes live before your website is ready, then just let me know when your
yeah.
website is ready, because I'd love to kind of
Okay.
share that out as well.
Yes.
Um, if you're interested in more content like this is where I promote myself.
Yeah.
If you're
Yeah.
interested in more content like this, be sure to visit www.melancholymentor.com and follow us for the latest updates. So on my website, I've kind of got the podcast links and some other things that I do. Um, you can also find me on YouTube, which I love.
Love a bit of YouTube.
I know. So
Yeah.
until next time, stay curious, keep igniting your creative potential, and go and look for the informed therapist.
Amazing. Thank you, Fran. Really
And
enjoyed it.
Lesley will hold you safe and nurture you
All the way.
with her beauty therapy knowledge. So thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you. Thanks, Fran.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me on the Melancholy Coaching Podcast. I'd love you to subscribe. For queries or to connect, email info@melancholymentor.com. Until next time, keep igniting your creative potential.